Hello everyone, welcome to PHP tutorial for beginner. In this tutorial, we are going to learn everything about PHP from the very beginning. First of all, we are going to see how to create PHP project. Then we are going to see all the syntax, variable, if-else condition, for loop. Then we will also see validation, and at the end, we are going to see how we can create database, insert data to the database using PHP. Then how we can display those data, update and delete those data. So I'll make this tutorial is as simple as possible. So without wasting any time, let's get started.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video I will show you how you can download XAMPP in your PC and how you can use a PHP project inside XAMPP and how you can create database and access them. So let's start the video, and here I will first type XAMPP and go to the first link here, select on Windows. Your download will start automatically. If it's take too much time, then just click here button. Now you can see download is started, and let me just pause the video, and when the download will be complete I will show you how you can install XAMPP in your PC. Okay, now you can see our download is complete. Now go to the file location, and here you can see I have XAMPP downloaded. Just double click on it, click on yes. Okay, just click on OK, don't worry about it. And now you can see the interface, and just you have to select next. Now you have to select the folder actually where you want to install it. In my case, I just want to install it in C drive. So, and actually by default it will install in your Windows installed driver or drive, whatever you say. So now click on next, then next. Now you can see it's installing. So let me just pause the video, and when the install will be complete I will be back. So here you can see I have already installed it, and now it's asking me that do you want to start the control panel now. So yes, I want to. So just click on finish. Now you can see we have downloaded and installed our XAMPP. So this is basically used for the local host server. So as PHP is scripting language, and if you want to do server side work, let's say if you want to create a database and you want to fetch data, create, read, delete and update data from your website, you can do it using PHP. So that's why actually if you want to interact with the server, that time you need a server, right? So XAMPP is basically work like this. It's help us to create a local host server so that we can access database and we can do the PHP operations, right? Okay, here you can see we have two options. At first Apache, and then MySQL, standard query language. So this is for the database, and this Apache for the local host. So if you want to start the server, just you have to click on start here. And if you want to, let's say you want to create a database, so that time you just have to start this one also. And now if you want to access the database, okay, I just have to give allow. Okay, so if you just want to access the database, you can click here in the admin button, or if you want to go through browser directly, you just can search here localhost /php myadmin. That's it, and press enter. Now it will took you to the database PHP myadmin. And now let me just show you by creating a simple database here. So to create a database, you just have to select the new option, and you can see that I have selected, and now it is in the database section. So this is the interface where you can create database. Let's say I want to create a database named web tech knowledge. So I will say here web tech knowledge, KNOWLEDGE, but make sure that there is no space in between lines. Okay, so now everything let as it is, and now we just have to do is we just have to select here create option, and now you can see our database is create, and this is our database, right? If I go to other database, these are also databases. You can select here, and you can see a lot of table actually created by default, and this is our database actually, this one web tech knowledge. Now you can create table you can add value, delete value, or you can fetch value to your website. Now let me show you where the file actually is. We have installed this jump in C drive in my case actually. So here you can see this PC, I have 2 drive and I have installed this in the Windows installed drive. So you can download it anywhere, no problem. And here you can see I have a folder and that is called jump. Mainly you just have to know about 2 folder, that is htdocs and php. Why actually you need this 2 folder? Mainly because this folder, php folder, has some option where you can upgrade or downgrade your jump version. Let's say you have installed jump let's say 1 year ago, but new update actually come. Now what you have to do, you have to just uninstall it, but this is not the good way. You can just change the php version, I mean your jump version, so you can upgrade or downgrade the jump version. That time actually this php folder actually needed, because you need to do some configuration here and this configuration setting. That's it. Otherwise you don't need this kind of folder here, but please don't delete any of this because these are all important. And we have another folder, that is htdocs. So mainly we need this folder htdocs because we will do every project inside this htdocs, because you cannot access all other file except this htdocs here. So here you can see we have a lot of file here. So by default php has a file that is called index.php. you can open it through a code editor. Let me just open it. Open with, and I will say here atom for me. You can use Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, and so on. So this is the php code, index.php. this is the very basic code. If you want to write something here, you can do it. So here you can see every php project or every php file actually start with an angular sign, then question mark, then php, and then end with a question mark, then angular sign. So let me just show you how. If I say here, let's say I want to write php code, right? So what you have to do, you have to just give a angular bracket, angular sign here, and then question mark, then you have to write php, and then you have to give one more question mark and then angular bracket. So this is the starting, I mean opening one, and this is the closing one, and inside it whatever you actually write you can write. But let's say you want to show something in the web browser. That time if you said that hello, it will not shown in the website, because inside php if you want to show something then you have to echo it. And now you can write here hello. And now if I go to the browser, make sure to open Apache server, just start it here, and let's say I will now if you want to access the file, you just have to say localhost slash when I said localhost slash, it means it will go to the index file, and here we have shown from index file that hello. So that's it. You can delete all of them actually, don't need, because it will work when you actually do some projects. So if you want to create any project, you just have to keep them in a folder. Let's say I will create here a new folder, and I will say here, let's say test php. So keep in mind that you cannot give space inside the text, because otherwise you cannot access it through URL. So you just have to mention it, I mean remember it, right? So test php here, and inside the test php, let's say I want this folder only, I don't want any file here. So just Control A, press Control A, and let me just keep this file and test php file. This is my folder actually. Other than test php and index.php, I will delete all of them. And now let's say I want to keep it here. Now if I refresh, now you can see there is an error. I mean not error. Now you can see that we have another folder, and that is called test php. Just we have created now. Here you can see, and inside the test php we have index.php. So if you want to access this folder, you can say it project, right? This is not necessary actually, but let's say I have said that if you want to do it professionally, so you have to keep them in separate, right? So that you can understand better, so that you can access them easily, right? Otherwise all the I mean videos, audios, images, text, all will be just what can I say, so messy situation. So to avoid messy situation, actually you need folders. So here you can see we have a folder here, and it's showing there we have a folder test PHP. Now if I click on here, now it will show the index.php, and this is the default page. Now let's say you want to access this folder in your code editor. So just what you have to do, you have to just select this folder and just drag and drop it here, or you can go through just by clicking open project. Here you can see we have index.php, and by default when you go to the localhost slash I mean your main folder, that time if it will look for the index file. If it is access, I mean if it is here, I mean index.php, then it will directly open this. Otherwise it will you just have to mention the file name also. Here you can see I don't mention the file name, that is index.php, because by default actually PHP execute this. So let me show you by giving example here, and if I create one more file here, and let me just named it another.php. so your PHP file should have this extension .php, that is called .php. so we are in a new file here, and here I will add PHP code. So I have to set here angular sign question mark, then PHP, right, and then space, then angular question mark, then angular. So we have open it and we have close it, right? Okay, now inside the PHP code we will say that echo actually we want to show that this is from another file. So now let's say here you can see we have two files, right, index and another. So as I mentioned that by default when you go to the localhost and if you look for any PHP project, then by default PHP will search for index.php. If PHP actually find index.php file, then it will execute the file automatically and it will show the result. But if I want to access this file, this next file, another.php, I have to mention here after the project file, I mean project folder, then we have to mention that another.php. now I can access this, see. Okay, so this, okay, I miss s from here, this is silly mistake, sorry. And now if I go to the browser and refresh, now you can see everything is all right. So what I have said, that if you want to access every file, you just have to mention here file name also and .php extension. But if it is if the file name is index.php, then you just don't need to write here, it will automatically open the index.php file. So this is it for this video. So you can subscribe this channel for more videos, and we have already completed some project using PHP and framework Laravel. So if you are looking for Laravel also, you can follow this channel. You just have to subscribe this channel for regular updates. We upload videos regularly, so don't worry, it will be good practice if you do practice with us. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Welcome back to another video, and in this video we'll talk about PHP syntax and comments, how actually you can comment down something, and how actually you can write PHP syntax. So here let me just type here HTML. So how to actually write PHP syntax, you just have to give angular sign, then question mark, then PHP, then question mark once again, and then angular sign. So you have to just open it and close it like this. So here let me just declare a variable. So there is id is equal to, let's say 3, and let's say I want to print it inside the HTML body, and here let's say we have h1 and I want to print it here. So if you want to print it, let's say this id variable, so you have to use PHP syntax. Anywhere if you want to write PHP, you have to use PHP syntax, and we have to write PHP syntax like this. And here now I can echo here the id. So we can say here echo, and then I will say here the id is $id. So why I actually use this curly braces? Because if you want to print something, or if you want to show something inside double quotation, that time actually you have to use these curly braces. Okay. So now we'll go to the browser. We will go to the our project, and here you can see in our project we have some PHP file. So now we will open this file, syntax and comments.php. Now you can see this id is 3. Okay, so we can access it from anywhere in HTML body or anywhere in a PHP page. We just have to use PHP syntax at first, and then inside PHP syntax we have to write PHP code. So now let's say you want to comment down something. Let's say I want to say that if you want to print something inside double quotation, you have to use curly braces. So I'll say here double slash use brackets, so like this. And so if you want to comment down something, you just have to use double slash. So let's say you have multiple line. Let's say here you want to write multiple line. Let's say I have another variable that is val2, and we have a string here. So let's say I want to comment down this both variable. So how actually can I do this? I just have to give slash here, then star sign, and then I have to end here. So I will say star sign once again, then slash. So it will comment down this both line. Okay, so for the single line you have to use double slash. For multiple line you have to use one slash and then star sign, and then once again I mean a multiplication sign, right, and then slash. Okay, so this is how actually you can comment something in PHP. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video we will talk about PHP variables. If you want to declare a variable, that time actually you have to use $sign at first, and then variable name, any name actually one. So here for me val1, so you can give any name, right, test, any name actually. So I will say here val1. Now actually you can see if I say here 0, so it will actually act as integer. In other programming language, or let's say C, in C program, you can see that if you want to declare a variable, actually you have to mention the data type, I mean integer or float or string or something else. You have to mention it first, right? But in PHP you don't need to mention the variable type. You just have to mention a variable name, and then actually if you put a string, then it will act as a string, and if you store float value, then it will act as float variable. If you store boolean value, it will act as boolean variable. So let me show you. If I say here, let's say I want to say here one variable, let's say another variable that is val2, and here if I say double quotation, and if I say yum in here, now it will act as string. Let's say I want to declare a variable val3, and here I will say 3.5. let's say I want to print all the type here. I mean I want to show you that what is the variable type actually, if it is integer, string or something else. So here I will add one more variable, that is epic, and I will say here quotation, and I will set number inside it. So now I will print every single variable type. So let's see. So we will use here a function, and that is, and I will echo here get type function, and inside the function we just have to pass the parameter, and that is val1, let's say. So now I will copy it for all the variables, and we have 4 variables, right? So I will paste it 4 times. Now I will set the variable here val2. Our second variable is epic, right? So epic, and then val2, then val3. Now let's see our type. If I refresh, okay, I have missed here a quotation, so you just have to use it. Now if I refresh, now you can see, okay, I want to actually use break here, so I will say break here. So let's add here a break, so like this. And let me just copy it. Okay. Okay, now if I go to the browser, if I refresh, now you can see our first value is integer, second value is string, third value is string, fourth value is double. So we have bunch of different variables in PHP, so you can learn all them and in details from here, PHP W3 schools. So if you go to the any browser and if you go to any search engine like Google, so you have to just search here PHP W3 school, and that's it. Now you can go to the first link, and then from here you can actually learn everything about PHP one by one. So thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Let's say you want to know the PHP version from PHP script, so you just have to write here a function that is, so here I just have to say PHP version. So this is the function actually we want to show. So if I go to the browser, if I refresh, now you can see my current PHP version is 8.2.12.
Welcome back to another video, and in this video we'll talk about PHP if else statement. Let's say I want to set $val 1 3 $val 2 4. So now I want to set if condition, so I will say if $val 2 is greater than $val 1, then show $val 2 is greater than $val 1. So here you can see we have to write if statement in PHP like this. You have to use a condition here, if then condition then curly braces, opening and closing, right? And inside it we have to write statement. So this is if, okay, and we will use else here, and that is echo $variable 1 is greater than $val 2. Now go to the browser, and here you can see we have our, okay, let me just refresh here. So what is our file name actually? PHP if else, right? So this is the file. So I will click here, and here you can see 4 is greater than 3. Extra, okay, we just need to remove it. Now if I refresh, here you can see 4 is greater than 3, and if I set here 4 and here 3, now our else statement will be counted. Refresh, 4 is greater than 3, and that is our val 1. Okay, so I hope you understand. So this is how actually you can use if else statement. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video we will talk about PHP for loops and continue and break. So what is break and what is continue and why we should use loop, I will talk about it. So let's start the video, and here you can see I'm creating a file, and that is testloop.php. Here I have to write the script, so like this, and inside it, let's say I want to print 100 values, let's say from 1 to 100. So we know if you want to print something in PHP, you have to write echo and then the number. So you can write like this. If I go to the browser, here you can see my server is on Apache. So I will say here localhost /test PHP. So this is my project, right? Here you can see test PHP is my project. So I have to just enter here, and here you can see we have a PHP file, and that is test loop.php. We just have to click here, and then you can see we have one here, right? Okay, so let's say want to print from 1 to 100. So we have to echo it 100 times, right? But we shouldn't do this, and here actually loop help us to make it easier. So we just have to create a loop, and let's say we have a different loop: for loop, do while, and for each. Actually for each is much advanced, so we'll discuss it later, but now we will use for loop. So here you can see I have write for loop, and then we have added parenthesis, okay, and then we just have to add curly braces like this, and inside this we have to set a condition. Let's say I want $id, it means a variable, and it will start from 1, and it will count id is greater than or equal 100, and it will auto increment by 1. So here we will say echo, we will show id, right? We will say id, that's it. So why I use here curly braces? Because I have I have accessed this variable inside double quotation. So if I remove double quotation, that time actually I can use only id. But here, if you want to use double quotation, and that time actually you have to use curly braces and the variable, and you have to end like this. And now if I go to the browser, if I refresh now, you can see nothing happened. Why? Okay, this is horrible mistake. Here you can see I said the condition that 1 is greater than 100. Is it possible? Okay, so this is a horrible mistake, sorry for this, and we just have to say like this. And now if I go to the browser, you can see warning, undefined variable $i. Okay, so I just have to remove it here, and let me just refresh. Nothing happened. Okay, so id, why? Okay, let's say I want to use here I, because we need to keep them same, right? This is also another horrible mistake, so I'm sorry for this. And now if I refresh, now you can see everything will be done. 1 2 3 4. Okay, I want to add break also here, so let's add a break here. And if I refresh now, you can see it's showing me 1 from 1 to 100. So we just need to write 3 line of code, and it's that easier, right? So that's why actually we use for. So now let's talk about break and continue. So let's say I want to show from, I have set the condition for the 100 times, right? But let's say I want to show only let's say I want to show every value except 50. So what I have to do, I have to set here a if condition, and that is like this. If I will say $i equal to 50, I said if $i equal to 50, then continue. What does it mean? When, so every single time it will enter the loop, it will check the I value is equal to 50 or not. If it is 50, then it will say continue. That means it will continue to the for loop. So that time actually it will not echo it. So if we want to show every value except 50, we can do it like this. And let's go here, and if I refresh now, you can see everything is here but except 50. Here you can see 49 and then 51. There is no 50 because we have said here that if it is 50, then continue. Continue the loop, not go to the echo here. And then when it increment by 1, and then it says that okay, now I value is 50 plus 1 equal to 51. So it will not enter this clause, and it will paste, it will print or echo the value. And let's say I want to break here, use break here. So what will happen? So if I say break, so that time actually it will show me from 1 to 49. Why? Because I have said that, okay, whenever actually the I value is not equal to 50, you can print them. So it will print 1 2 3 from 1 to 3 to 49. Okay, when it finds the value 50, then actually it will break. I mean, it will break the loop here. So the loop will be break, the loop will not continue. So now if I go to the browser, if I refresh, now you can see we have from 1 to 49. So these are the difference between break and continue, and this is for loop. So I hope you understand. So thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today's video we will talk about PHP arrays. So let me just create a file first. So that will be arrays.php. In PHP we have three types of array, and one is indexing array, and another one is associative array, and the last one is multi-dimensional array. So let me show you with example. Here I will write PHP script first. Okay, so inside it, let's say I want to mention a array. So I will say here, let's say car, and or maybe say student, right? Student. So I have a 3 student, let's say. So I will add like array, that's it, and let's say Yamin, Tanvir, and then Wasif. So we have 3 students. Now indexing means to know the information according to the index number. Let's say here this is index 0, this is index 1. So every array is actually array index start from 0, right? So the first one is 0, second one is 1, and the third one is 2. So in indexing array we actually access through index number. In associative array we actually access through name. So let's say I want to access the student information from the database, and database we have 3 column: ID, name, and email. So if I want to access ID, so we just have to mention here like this array, and then instead of index number we just have to mention the name. Okay, column name. So let's say ID is a column name, and then name is a column name, then email is also a column name. So we can access through like this. So this is called associative array. But if we access let's say I want to access this one, so I will say 0. So let me just echo it. So I will say echo, and here I will use student, so $student, and I will add curly braces here, and I will end curly braces and double quotation. Okay, so now we actually want to print, I mean we want to show a student index number 0. So so index number 0 we have a value that is Yamin, so it will actually print Yamin value. Okay, so let's go to the browser, and here we will say localhost/test.php because our server name is test.php. If I click on array.php, now you can see our first index is Yamin, right? So indexing actually work like this. You just have to mention index. So I have created a database so that you can understand better for the example, right? So here in my database you can see I have a table student name. So I want to access ID, name, and email. So that time actually we need associative array, and that's why I have right here a PHP I mean MySQL I function that is fetch function as associative array. So the result will be fetch as associative array. So now actually we know that in our associative array we just have to mention using column name, not using index number, right? So here now let's say I want to see the ID, and then okay, here you can see we have student information, right? So what we have done here, we just have to indexing them using name. So this is called associative array. If we indexing them as index number, let's say 0 1 2, that time actually it called indexing array. So if I say here 0, if I say here 1, if I say here 2, it will give me an error, I hope. So let's see what happened here. Refresh. So here you can see undefined array key 1 2 0 1 2, because it is in associative array. So we have to mention here, I mean we have to index by name. So our name is, first name is ID, I mean column name, and then column name is name, then the third column name is email. So this is the main difference between indexing array and associative array. In indexing array, you have to indexing through index number 0, 1, 2, and in associative array, you just have to mention or indexing through the column name or name. So this associative array basically used for the MySQL query or the database. Okay, if you want to fetch a table value or anything from the database, that time actually we use associative array. So we have indexing array, associative array, and last thing we have multi-dimensional array. Let's say in our database, let's say we have 5 different student, and for the first student, let's say our student has 5 subject, let's say the math, physics, chemistry, and English. So if I want to access math, chemistry, physics, okay, that time actually I need this name and Yamin. Let's say first student has 5 different subject, and if I need to access them, that time actually we need multi-dimensional array. Let's say I want to show you here 0 also, and here 1. Let's say it will work or not. If I refresh, here you can see for the associative array we cannot use index, we have to use name, right? Associative array. But for the index array we have to use indexing. So here you can see it shows us Yamin here, right? I want to add break so that you can understand well. If I refresh now, you can see our first output is Yamin and it is indexing. Okay, we are going to show output. So by according to index number, we know that arrays indexing number actually start from 0. So if I say here 1, it will show me the second value, it means Tanvir. So if I refresh now, you can see Tanvir. But for the associative array, we have to mention the name. We have to indexing through the name. This is the main difference between an indexing array and associative array. I hope you understand well. So thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video we will talk about PHP functions. So let me just create a file here. I will say function, functions, functions.php. So what are function actually? Let me show you. Let's say we have a variable here, x equal to 3, and we have a variable here, y equal to 4. Why actually we need function? Let me tell you first. Let's say you want to do addition here. Let's say you want it maybe multiple times. That time you just have to call a thing, and that is called function. So function basically helps you to actually to reduce your coding length, or what can I say, to write less code. How? When actually you said that okay, this is my function and the function is for the addition. So when I need addition, let's say I need addition for multiple times, I can do addition for 5 plus 3, 8 plus 3, not 4 plus 3 only. So that time actually I just have to call the function, and then function will automatically execute this. So this is called actually function, and that's why actually we use function. So now let me show you how actually you can declare a function or you can write a function. So you just have to say here function, function, and that's it. And just you have to give a parenthesis, and after that you have to use curly braces. So this is function. So now you just have to, let's say I want to do addition here. So I will say $result variable, and that is like $x plus $y. The addition value will be stored in this variable result, and now you want to echo it. Let's say echo, I want to echo the result variable. So I will say result. If I now go to the browser, here you can see we are in our project localhost/test.php, and if we go to the function.php, here you can see there is nothing because we echo here, but by default actually function not calling. So we have to call the function. If you want to access the function, you have to call it. Otherwise you can write a lot of code, but it will not be executed. But here you can see if I echo here, let's say if I echo here $x, let's say, it will echo 3. But inside the function, if I echo something, it will not show until we call it. So we have to call the function. So here, let's say I want to call it. So I will say to call a function, we need to give a name. So let's name it addition. Now our function have a name, and now we will actually can call it from here. So we'll say echo or we don't need to echo here. We just have to say addition. That's it. Now if I refresh, so here you can see undefined variable. So actually our function is looking for the value, so we just have to pass the parameter. So here we will say, we will pass parameter here, dollar, let's say $x, $y. You can say here anything, okay, no problem, $x, $y, and here we just have to pass the variable, I mean pass the value, let's say 4, let's say 3 and 4. Let me remove it. Now if I refresh, now you can see our result is 7. And now let's say I want addition of 5 and 8, so I will say here 5 and 8. If I refresh, now you can see the result is 13. I want to use here a break. Okay, now see result. And now if I need 100 times, if I want to do it 100 times, we don't need to write this function 100 times. We just need to call this function like this, and let's say I want 15 plus 18, and the result will be 33. So this is how actually we can execute function, and you have to write function like this. First of all, you have to mention the function and then the function name, and then if you want to do some addition, I mean if you want to do arithmetic operation, you have to pass the value as parameter, okay, and then inside curly braces you have to do I mean addition, subtraction, whatever actually you can do. So here let me do for the multiplication. So I will say here function funct function multi, and I just say here like this, and I will pass 2 parameter because I want to multiply 2 parameter. So here I will say x comma $y. That's it. Now I will set a variable here, that is result, and I will say $x multiplication $y. That's it. Now I will echo from here, and I will say result $result. Okay, now if I call this function, I just have to say here multi, and I just have to pass the variable, I mean values. So let's say 1 to 20 into 30, so the result will be 600. Here you can see the result. So this is how actually you can access function, you can create function, you can apply function. I hope you understand PHP function. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video we will talk about super global variables or global variables. So let's say, so what are super global variable? So these are fixed, you cannot change it. Any other variable you can change them whatever actually you want to. I mean you want to set the name, you can set any name, no problem, but you cannot change super global variable. So we have fixed some fixed super global variable. Let's say if you want to upload a file in your website, I mean yes, if you want to add a file added option in your website, so that time actually you have to use $_file. So $_file is a global variable. So let me show you how you can write global variable, how you can access them, and how they can actually use. Okay, so first of all I want to create a file, and the file name would be super global variables, let's say .php. Here I will say that, let's say I want to add a form first, so I will say html, sorry, and here I want a form, so I will say form, and let's say inside it I will add class, input class, okay, sorry, input field. So I want to add submit button, so I will say input, another input, and that would be submit, okay, and value would be submit, let's say, and name would be submit. Sorry, it would be let's say name, okay. And now I want to actually, okay, so here you can see we have action, that is index.html. We have to remove it. Let's say we want to redirect to this page, so our page is super global variables .php. So this is our page, and our method is post. So for the method post, we have a super global variable that is called $_post. So let me show you how actually you can write it. You just have to write PHP syntax first. So here I will show you how actually you can write super global variable. So to write super global variable, you have to first use a dollar sign, then underscore, then your variable. So super global variables are like files. We have dollar underscore server. Okay. We have dollar underscore get. We have dollar underscore post. So these are fixed, you cannot change them. Okay, so these are super global variable, you can access them anywhere in any PHP file, but in different purpose. Let's say my form method is post, so in this case I will use super global variable post. And let's say I need server work, so I will use server variable. Let's say I want to work with files. Let's say I have some option in my website that I can upload PDF or any file. That time actually we use super global variable files. Here you can see we have a submit button. So we said that okay, when I click on submit, the action will be, I mean, it will be redirected to the page, same page. So here we will catch it through PHP syntax. So I have write PHP syntax here, and now I have to catch it. So I will say if is set, so it's a function is set. Okay, if is set what submit button, so name is submit, right? When I click on submit button, so I will say here submit, we will enter the clause, and here I will say I want to catch the, or I want to store the values from the text field. So here from the text field I want to store the value. So I will say here a variable that is val1, let's say, equal to, I will say dollar underscore post. Why post? Because my method is post, so I have to access through super global variable post, and then I have to just I have to write like this. Okay, so here you can see I have made a mistake here. We just have to mention here also post because our method is post, so I have to say here dollar underscore post. Okay, and then like this we have to keep it inside the parenthesis. Okay, so here you can see every single field or every single value will if you want to, I mean, store from this form, you have to go through the super global variable post, because our method is post. If our method is get, then you have to write here dollar underscore get. Okay, so this is the difference. So actually you can write super global variable like this. So we will discuss it when we do a big project, or when we do form handling. Actually then I will talk about it, but right now you just have to understand it. Okay, why and how actually you can write super global variables. So here you can see method is post. I will say method is post, so I will say here post underscore post. So you have to write super global variable like this. So these are normal variable and this is super global variable. So you have to mention the file name, and that is name. So our field name is name, so I will say here name. Oops. Okay, and now let's say I want to echo it, so I will say echo name is I will say, sorry, I want to use curly braces here because inside double quotation, if we want to show the value, I mean any variable, then we have to use curly braces. So I will say here val1. Okay, so I want to add break here also, it's a good practice. Okay, now I will go to the browser, the new tab, and here I will say localhost/test.php, our project file. So here, and here you can see we have a PHP file here that is super global variables. We have to just click here, and if I say here yamin, and if I submit, you can see name is yamin. If I say here wasi submit, you can see name is submit. We will talk more about this super global variable later, but now this is the super global variable. So this is how actually you can write them. Okay, so I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. So we already know about get and post super global variables, but the question is, when actually should you use post and when should get? So let's start the video, and I will show you with real-time example. Here you can see we have a form here, and it redirect to the same page, but here you can see the method is post. So let me just set it at get first. So I have said the method is get. Now we will we have to change here super global variable, that is $_get. Okay, and here also $_get. Now let me show you what is the problem. So let's say I want to add one more field here, and that should be password field. So I will use here password, and this is pass. Okay, so I will say here placeholder. Let's say for the dummy text I will say enter your password. Now we will actually get the value from here also. So $will to, and it also, we have to also write here $super global variable get, and like this. So, and we have to say here pass, because our field name is pass, right? Yeah. Okay, if now I go to the, okay, let me just, okay, our Apache server is on. Now let me go to the browser, and if I go to the browser and type here localhost/test.php, our project, here you can see this is the PHP file actually we want to open. So click on here you can see this is the name and this is the password. Okay, and remember our method is get here. Okay, now see the real changes. If I type here yamin and password is, let's say 123, if I submit, you can see name is yamin, and okay, we have to echo the password also. So I will use password is val2, let's say. If I refresh, now you can see the password also. But the problem is, if you look at the address bar, here you can see you have name and password showing. And I set our method as get, here you can see get, that time it shows the value in the address bar. This is the problem. Let me show you. If I say here 124, if I submit, then you can see password is changed. So it's soft information. If somebody know my password, then he can change it, right? So if I show here, they will know the password. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to remove this password or anything actually passing from different page or same page. I just have to remove them. I mean, I don't want to show them here. So that time actually I have to use post method. This is the main difference between post and get. So let me just type here get, and here I will say $_post, because our method is now post. So our super global variable would be post. Now see the changes. If I say here, let's say yamin and password is 123, if I submit, what is the problem? Okay, I have to refresh this first. I have to just go there. Okay, now if I say yamin and password is 123, if I submit, then you can see now there is no password in address bar. But here we got the password and name, but here in the address bar there is no password. So now anyone cannot change my password and name also. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And in this video we will talk about form handling. So let's start the video. Here you can see I am in a PHP file, and that is forms.php. So I will create a form first. So HTML, and it's in the body. Let's say I want to create form. So I will say here form, and I want to add some input field, and let me just copy it. Okay, and then one more, that is for the submit button. So I will say here submit. His name is submit. Let's say I want to set here password. So I'll say password. I'll say here name. Okay, so this is text field, so I have to say here text. Okay, so we have a 3 input field, 2 input field, and 1 is button. I mean for the submit button. We have set here a class. So let's name it form class. So let me just access this. I want to do some CSS for it. So I will go to the style tag here, and here I will say form class. And if I want to access class, so I have to give dot. Okay, and everything is done. Now let's say I want to add placeholder here. So let me just add placeholder for all of them. I will say placeholder, enter your name, and here also placeholder, enter your password, and everything is done. Now I want to set a value for the button, so the value is submit. Let's say if I refresh, now you can see submit. So I want to add margin bottom also, margin bottom 10 pixel. Let's say refresh. Okay, so everything is done. Now I want to set button, let's change the color of the button to green. So I will say here, I'll set a class for it, button. Let's say I will access this class here, so I will say dot button, and here I will say background color green, refresh. Okay, and I want to remove border, so I will say border none, so there is no border here. Okay, everything is done. Now let's work for it. So what is form handling in PHP? So let's say I want to submit here. If I submit here, you can see it's showing not found, because in action actually we said that if submit clicked, then where it will go. So if I say here hash, it will be in the same page, but just look at this address bar, then you will understand. If I refresh, now I submit, then you can see there is hash. So actually action is used for, I mean, where the file will go when somebody click on submit. Okay, where the form data will go. So we just have to mention the path. So here let's say I want to, you can create new file, new PHP file, and you can give the link, or you can use the same page. So if you want to use the same page, you just have to mention the page name, that is forms.php, and if I refresh, and now let's say if I submit, it will be in the same page. Okay, now the method is post, and we have another method, that is get. So in my previous video I already talked about it, what is get and what is post, and why and when should you use get and post. So for the soft information you should use post, for other information you can use get, because when you use get, in the address bar you can see the value, okay, field value. So now we will handle this form. Let's say, so I will say here, let's say post method. So when I submit, it will redirect to the same page. So I have to accept the value, or what can I say, I have to store the value. So I have to write here a PHP syntax, and like this, and here I have to say dollar, I have to set variable, right, because I want to store the value from the form. So I will say here a function that is, okay, I will set here a condition, that is if, I will say that if button is clicked, I mean submit button is clicked, then it will enter this condition. So I will say here a function that is called is set, okay, and then parenthesis would be dollar underscore post, because our method is post, so super global variable will be post, and then our button name is submit. Let me show you. Here you can see our button name is submit. So now actually if submit button clicked, then it will enter this clause, and here we will set some variable to get the value. So let's say variable 1 v1 val, let's say 1, and then I have to accept or set, I mean I have to get the value. So I have to say here dollar underscore post, because our method is post, so super global variable will be post. Simple, okay. And then field name, so our text field name is what, name, and password field name is password. So let me just copy here one more time because I have two field. So first one is name and second one is password. Okay, and now I want to echo it, so I will say echo name is $val1, and let's say I want to use break here, so I will copy it and then I will paste here, and password is val2. When you want to show any variable, you have to use curly braces. I mean, if you want to show inside double quotation, right? If you want to show outside the double quotation, you don't need to do anything. But let's say you want to add this text also and the value also. So what you can do, we have two way. So this is the one way, and we have another way, and that is let me show you. You just have to add a dot, because dot will concatenate string or anything. Okay, so dot will concatenate. So here we just have to mention the variable, that is val1, and then we want to add break, right? So we need one more dot because we want to once again concatenate, right? So here we just have to give double quotation and then br. That's it. Now it will work same. Go back, let me refresh, and now I will say yamin and password is 123. If I submit, and you can see name is 123. The problem is something happened, but what? Undefined variable val2. So here you can see we have set same variable, right? val1. Now it will work, no problem. Password is null, name is null. Okay, if I say here yamin and password is 123, if I submit, then you can see the name is yamin and password is 123. So let's say I want to show them in in HTML file. Let's say not here, in HTML file. Okay, in HTML file. So let's say I want to show them after this form. Okay, so let me create a what can I say? Let me create a table here. Let's say, so I will create a table and I will create table head, and okay, let me just type here t head. So then we will say tr table row, th table column. We will say t body, because in table we have two part, table head and table body, and tr means row. Every single time if you want to add value in a row, that time actually you have to use tr, and td for the column, because th actually bold the line, so it will actually use for the table head, and td is for the table body. You can use here also th, but it's not meaningful. You should your heading should be bold, right? Your text it shouldn't be bold. So here I will say the value. Okay, so I need two value, one is for the name and another one is for the password. So here you can see, let me just remove this echo from here. Let's say I don't want to echo here. So here what we have to do, we just have to remove this clause if we want to show our value in HTML file. Okay, we just have to remove closing brackets, okay, of curly braces. We just have to remove the closing one, and then we have to go to the HTML part, and here let's say we want to show the value here. So we'll say here PHP syntax, and here we will echo the name. So dollar. So we just have to use curly braces, and the name is what? val1, and password is val2. So I will say here val1 $val1, and in the next line we will say, once again you have to write PHP script. We can write here PHP like this, no problem, and here we will say echo, and our second variable, that is val2. That's it. Now if I refresh and close, okay, so we have to close it, our if parenthesis. Here you can see we have starting parenthesis, but we haven't closed it because we want to access this value in the table column, right? In our HTML part and inside table column we want to access them. Okay, so if we close it, we cannot access the variable here if we close here. So now we actually access the variable. Now we actually have to close it. So after the table, we will close it. So we have to write here once again PHP script, because anywhere if you want to write PHP code, you have to use PHP syntax. Okay, so inside here we will say curly braces. So now our PHP close is done. Now if I confirm, here you can see name is Yamin and password is 123. So let me type here Wasi and password is 234. If I submit, here you can see name is Wasi and password is 234. Okay, this is how we will do PHP form handling. I hope you understand. So if this video is helpful for you, make sure to give a like and subscribe this channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video we will talk about PHP required. Why and when should we use it? So let's say here you can see I have a file required.php. So I will say here, and inside the body I want to create form. Inside form I need input, so I will say input. Let's name it name, and I need another input, let's say, and type should be password. Let's say password, and name will be pass, and I need another input for the submit button. I will say submit, and name also submit, and value also submit. Okay, if I go to the browser and if I go to my project, here you can see we have a file here, PHP file required.php. Here you can see I have a text field and a password field and submit button. So let's say the action will be the same page, that is required.php. Okay, so if somebody click on submit, then it will redirect to the page, right? And let's say I want to store the value from this field. So I will set here an if condition, that is like is set function, and where I will use this parameter like $_post, and then the file, I mean submit button name is submit. So I will copy it and paste it here. It means when somebody actually click on submit, so our function will check that if submit is clicked or not. If submit button clicked, then it will enter this clause. And let's say we want to store variable here, so I will say val1 equal to $_post, because our method is post. Here you can see method post. So I will say here post, and then we have to just mention the field name. That is, for the first field we have name here. Here you can see name, and for the password we will say val2 equal to $_post. Then we have the next field name pass, so we'll say pass. And now let's say I want to echo variable $1 $val1, and I want to add br here and another variable, that is $val2. Okay, so I want to paste this value, right? Okay, so now let's say if I refresh, now let's say I want to say here Yamin and password is 123. If I submit, then you can see name is Yamin and password is 123. But if I click on submit, then you can see it taking null value also, right? So let's say we want validation. Okay, we want to say that nobody actually can click on submit button without giving data. So what do we have to do? That time actually we have to use required. So where actually you have to use required in this input field, you just have to say required, required, required. Okay, this is a normal form validation. If I refresh, you can see when I submit, it says please fill out this field. Now actually anyone cannot give null value here. So for this kind of validation you can use required here. So we give here password, right? If I submit, now actually our password and name is showing here. So we have to give a value first, right? That's why actually we have to use required here. So this is a very basic form handling, but in our next video we will talk more about form handling and form validation. So thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And in this video we will talk about form validation, PHP form validation. So let's start the video. Here you can see I have a PHP file validation.php. My server is open. Here you can see Apache server is on and I am in my project. My project name is test.php and this is my file validation.php. So let's start the video. So let's go to the code editor. Here I will type HTML first, and here let me just create a form first because we want to do form validation, right? So I will say here form, and I will say input type should be text, and let's say I want to create one more input, and that is like this, and this is for the email, let's say. Okay, and I want to set the name. For the text is name, and for the email is email. So we have two text field, right? Now we want to do validation, so we need one more input field for the submit button. So we'll say here submit, and name also submit. Okay, now let's go to the browser and select on valid.php. If I click, now you can see this is our page, web page, right? PHP web page. So let's add some placeholder here. So I will say placeholder, not here, email here, and I will say placeholder. Enter your email, and for the name I will say enter your name. Okay, so now refresh. You can see we have two text field, one is for the name and one is for the email, and then we have submit button. If I click on submit, it will redirect to the same page. So I will say here form action is validation.php because I want to redirect. I want it to redirect to the same page, right? Okay, and then we want to set the method as post. You can say it guest, no problem, but if it is related to your soft information, then you should use post here. So now let's say somebody submit it. So if someone click on submit, then we should accept the values from this field, right? So we need to write here PHP script. At the top you will say PHP question mark here, and this is our PHP script. Now we will accept the value. So we'll say if is set we'll say dollar underscore, our method is post, so super global variable will be post, and here we will say submit because our button name is submit, right? Here you can see our button name is submit. So now we will actually catch or store the value. So if our button is set, then we will enter this clause. So we'll say here dollar, let's say name for the name. So we'll say dollar name equal to dollar underscore post, and then our field name. First field name is name. You can see here our first field name is name and second field name is email. So let me just copy it. So I will change at a time. So I will I will press Ctrl from the keyboard, and then I have to click like this. Okay, and now I can change both of them. So I will say here email, and I know my field name is email also, right? Okay, so now we will check if our dollar name field is empty or not. So we will use a function that is called empty dollar name, and okay, let's say dollar name, and then we will enter here. If it is empty, then we will say echo field is empty, and same thing for the email also. We'll say here email. Okay, now let's check how it works. Go back, click on here, and if I say submit, you can see uncaught error, undefined constant name. So let me check why it is giving me the same. Okay, so I have to give here quotation, single quotation. I have to use here single quotation. Okay, and if I refresh, okay, it says that field is empty. because we have set to if condition here that if our name is empty, then show field is empty. If our email is also empty, then show that field is empty. So it's showing like this, but we want to show them inside this field. So how to do this? So to do this, if empty, we will set a variable here, and that is error. We'll say name error. We'll say please enter your name fast, and let me just let me say here dollar email error. We will set here enter your email fast. So we have two variable here, and now we will paste it inside it. So we will say here, we just have to say here value, okay, and then we have to add PHP script here, because we know in our PHP file, if anywhere actually you want to write PHP code, you have to use PHP script like this, okay. And inside it we will say if, we will set if condition here, and we will say if is set method, and then dollar this variable name error, okay. We will say that if this variable is set, then we can show it. It means when actually it will check that our name is empty or not. If it is empty, then it will check it, and if it is empty, then it will enter this clause, okay, and then it will set this variable value, this value to this variable. So we will also check here that if this variable is empty or not, is set or not. If this variable is set here, okay, then we will paste it, otherwise we will not paste it, okay. So we'll say here if is set dollar name error, then we will show what we will show, echo, we will show the variable, and there is dollar name error. And let me just copy it, this value section, from here to here. Let's just copy it for the email also, right? So we'll go to the email section here, before placeholder or after placeholder, no problem, you can paste it. And here we will say if is set email error, because for the email field we have set email error, right? Here you can see for the email, when we check that it is empty or not, then actually for the email we have set here email error, right? Okay, so here you can see we have done everything, right? And we just have to say here email error. So everything is done. Now let's check our code is working or not. So this is my project, and I just have to click here validation.php, and if I say here submit, you can see please enter your name, okay, and enter your email fast, enter your name fast, enter your email fast. So now if I say here, let's say Tanvir, if I say here tanvir@gmail.com, if I set submit, okay, so we want to actually paste the value also, so we'll set here else condition. We'll say here echo name is our variable name, that is like dollar name, and we'll say here and email is dollar email. These are two variable we have stored, name and email here. Now let's go to the browser and refresh. Actually I want to go back to my project. So my project is localhost, you have to write like this, localhost/test.php, your project. Here you can see this is my project test.php. So I just have to press enter, and now I'm in this same page, and now I have to go to the file actually I have created for the validation. So this is the validation.php. I have to click here, and here you can see I have two fields. If I say submit, you can see it's showing us that please enter your name, please enter your email first. So okay, let me just hit my name here. I will say Yamin, and yamin@gmail.com. If I say submit, then you can see name is Yamin and email is Okay, so this is a very basic form validation. I hope you understand. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And in this video we will talk about PHP includes. So here you can see I have a file here, includes.php, and here I have just created a form only, nothing else. But in the home.php file we have a full HTML structure, and here we have a title. If I go to the browser, if I refresh here, you can see I'm in a project and this is my home.php page. So actually I want to add this form inside this home.php. That time actually we can use include. So here I have to write a PHP script first. So I'll say here question mark PHP mark angular sign, and here I will say include. I just have to mention the page, and that is include.php. So includes.php. This is my page name. Now if we refresh, now we can see we got a form here. We just have to include the PHP file here, right? So this is my file and I have to access it in the home.php. So inside double quotation, I have to mention the page name actually, the which page actually I want to include. So includes.php. I hope you understand. So thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video we will talk about PHP file handling. So this video will be very basic video, but in our next video we will talk about how actually you can upload file. But now for this video we will show you how actually you can click on a button and then you can read a file. Here you can see I have some text, so it is a full story, but I have just few line from the story here, and if somebody click here read more, then they will show the story inside a text file. Okay, so how actually you can do this? So we just have to use here a function only, and I will show you how you can do this. So here you can see I have a form here, file handling.php, and inside it, in the body section here you can see I have form only, and inside the form I have a paragraph and input field. So input field is the read more button. Okay, if somebody click here, then we will show them the whole story inside this story.txt file. Okay, so we will upload, we will show this txt file. So we have to use a function here, and that is fread, file read. So this is our file, right? So you have, if we click here, then we will actually show the file. So we have to go to the top of the page, and here we will write question mark PHP script, right? So here we will say if our button is set, we will use a function that is called isSet, and here we will say if dollar. Okay, so we have to set the method actually, and here we can set method like get, because this is not sensitive information. So here we will use action to the same page. I want to redirect to the same page, right? So here we have to say file handling dot php. Now our method is get, so we'll say here $_get super global variable, and our button name is submit button. So we just have to echo the file. So we'll echo a function here, and that is read file. And inside read file, we have to pass the file name. So here you can see we just have to mention the text file, that is story.txt. Okay, so we just have to mention here story.txt. And now let's go to the browser and refresh it. And here, let's say I want to read more. If you click on read more, then you can see the whole story is here because we have opened a .txt file. Okay, so I hope you understand. So thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video we will talk about PHP file uploads. I will say here form because I want to create a form, and here I will say input. Our file type should be file. As our file input type is file, so we just have to mention one more thing here, and action and method is like before, but one more thing we have to add, and that is in type, and that is multi part / form data. So why multi-part? I will explain everything. For now, just continue the video. Okay, so let's say I want to add a submit button, so I'll say here another input field, and the type would be submit, and name also submit, and I want to add value submit here. That's it. So let me set the action so that if somebody click, then it do something, right? So in the action field we will say the same PHP file. So I will say file upload dot PHP. So actually we will redirect to the same page, right? So we want to accept the value. So here in the top we will say PHP. So we have added the PHP syntax. Now we will accept the value. I will say that if somebody click on submit, then we will accept their value. Okay, so I'll say here if, we'll say is set, and I want to say $_post. So let's set the method as post here. First method should be post, right? Okay, so here we will say post, and our button name is submit. So I will say here submit. As I mentioned earlier that when we work with file, that time actually we have to use this line. Encrypt ink type should be multipart / form data. Why multipart? Because when we actually work with file, that time actually it will consider as multi-dimensional array. We have index array, we have associative array, and we have multi-dimensional array. So when you will work with file, that time actually you have to work with multi-dimensional array. So here when actually somebody click on submit, our localhost server actually create a temporary space or temporary location for our file. So what we have to do, we have to move the file from the temporary location to our location. Okay, so let's say I want to create a folder here, and our folder name should be upload. Let's say any name actually one. So for me upload. So actually I want to upload the file in the upload folder. So to do this, we just have to know the file name, right? Temporary file name. So now actually we have to use the global variable files. So $_files. In the first parenthesis, we just have to mention the file name. So our file should have a name. So we'll say here file name, let's say. So we'll copy it and we'll paste it here. So I will say here file name, and our temporary file name is by default name, and we want the location also. So we'll say here temp location. We'll say here $_files, and we just have to mention two-dimensional array, so like this, and the file name is file name, and the temporary location name is name. Now actually we get our file name, temporary file name, and temporary file location in our variable. So here you can see we have set two variable, file name, so it will actually contain, it will actually store temporary file name, and the temporary location will contain temporary location name. Now the part is we have to move it from the temporary location to our location. So let's set here another variable, that is our location. So I will say here our location, and we just have to mention the location actually want to move. So here our location is upload, and we have to just give a slash here, because after that we will add our file also, right? We will move it to the upload folder. So we just have to say upload, then a slash. Now we will add, we'll move it, right? So we have to use a function. So I will say here move uploaded file. So this is the function, and we just have to pass two parameter, and that is one is file name, another one is destination. So our current temporary location is, we just have to say here temp location, and we have to pass another parameter, there is our location, that is our location, and we just have to add a dot because we want to pass the file name also. So we just have to say here $file name. That's it. Now actually it will move perfectly. So let's check. Just go to the browser. If I type here localhost/test php, so this is our project file and this is our upload file. You can see we don't have any file here, and now we just have to go to the file upload.php, and let's say I want to upload a file. So I will click here, and let's say I want to upload this image, so I will just select it and I will open it, and if I submit, then it will go. And let's go here and check upload, and here you can see we have an image here, right? So this is the image. So this is how actually you can upload your file.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I will show you how actually you can create a database in PHP MySQL, I mean using XAMPP. So here you can see we have XAMPP installed in our PC. So we need to start the localhost server, and that is Apache. So you have to click here start, and then for the database we need to start the MySQL. Here you can see, so we just have to start it. So we have start Apache and MySQL. Now we will go to the browser and say localhost /php myadmin. So here you can see we are in a PHP myadmin, I mean localhost PHP myadmin. So now we will actually create a database. So here you can see new button, I mean new option here. You just have to create, click on the new, and then you can see you have option. Now you can create database. So let's name it any name actually you want. So I will say test db. So this is our database, and we just have to select the create button here, and then it will be created. So our database is now created, right? Test db. So now actually we can add table on it. Let's say want to add a table that is student, and we need 3 column or 2 column maybe. Let's say name and email, and we need unique something that is id, let's say. So we'll need we will create 3 column for it, and now we just have to click on create. So now I will say let's say first one will be id, second one is name, and third one is email. So id is integer, okay, name and email should be string, so varchar. And here we'll select size 40, let's say, and here also 40. And id, let's say I want to set id as unique, I mean primary key. So I have to say here of primary. And now just what you have to do, you just have to click on go. Now let's say you want to auto increment the id. So you can do this, just you have to select this auto increment id. So every time actually you add any user, the id will be automatically added, I mean automatically incremented, okay. So if you want nullable value, you can just check this 2 option here, but you cannot select the first one because first one is your primary key, so you cannot make it null, right? Okay, and it is also auto incremented, so you cannot make it null. So that's it. Now everything is done here, and now we just have to save it. That's it. Now our table is done, and you can see we have a table, and that is a student table, and we have id, name, and email column. Okay, now we can add or insert value on it. You can just click on insert here to insert value, and let's say I want to so it is auto incremented, right? So we don't need to give here any value, and name should be, let's say, Yamin, and password email is yamin@gmail.com. That's it. Now we will select go. So we have inserted value, right? Here you can see. If I go to the student table, then you can see that we have one student here. So this is how actually you can create database and database table, and you can create your table or table column name, everything from the PHP file also. In our next video, we will show you how actually you can fetch data from this database. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video we will show you how actually you can fetch data from the database table. So here you can see in our previous video we actually create database, right? Test db and the table student, and here you can see we have 2 value, I mean 2 student data. One is Yamin and another one is for the Tanvir. So now in this video we will actually fetch data from this table. So you can see I have a PHP file and PHP syntax. So here I will set some variable. So for the variable we have to use $, and then the variable name, let's say for the server I will say server, and then I have another variable that is for the username I will say user. For the password I will say pass. and for the DB name I will say DB name. So now actually I want to set server. So the server is localhost because we are using XAMPP, right? So by default our server is localhost. So we'll say localhost. Our user is by default root and our password is by default null. So you cannot give here a space or anything. You can change it, but by default it is null. And our DB name is the database name. So we just have to mention the database name, and that is test DB, right? Yeah, you can see test DB. So I will say test DB. And everything is done. Now we need to set the connection with the database. So for this, I will set a variable con. Any name actually you can give here. So for me, con. Then I will say new MySQL I. Here I will set connection. I have to pass the parameter. So first server name. So I will say server, and second $username, and then third password, and then the last one is DB name. Everything is done. Now my connection is set. I will say if our connection is set. So I will say if connection set. So it will enter this clause, and here we will do query. So our query is SQL, let's say, and here actually I want to mention this query outside of this condition. So here I will say SQL equal to, here I will say the query. So we want to fetch the data, right? So I have to write query like this, select star everything from the table is student. So we have fetch all the information from the student table, right? Okay, now our query is also done and our connection is done. Now we have to execute the query. So to execute the query, let me just remove it. Let's say I want to set the query result in a variable that is result. So here I will say MySQL I query. So this is the function actually I want to use, query. And here I have to pass two parameters. One is for the connection, that is $con, and another one is our SQL, our query. Here you can see our connection and SQL. So we just have to pass these two parameters here. Now actually the query will be executed and the result will be saved in this result variable. Now actually I want to fetch all the data as associative array. We already mentioned earlier in our previous videos that when we actually work with database, that time actually we have to use associative array. We know that associative array actually works as column name. It will not work as index number because we want to set all the associative arrays value in a variable that is called row. Okay, because it will actually check every single row. So that's why actually I have set here variable row. You can change it any name. Okay, any name actually you can give here, 2, 3, 4, anything. Okay, just I want to actually set it row. So we will fetch the data. So we have a function and that is MySQL I fetch assoc. So this is the function for the associative array. Now actually I want to pass this result here as parameter. So the result will be shown as associative array and the result, the associative array will be stored in this variable. So now actually we want to execute the variable, right? And problem is we have let's say 100 student data. Here you can see we have more than one student data, right? So we need a loop. So while loop, and inside while loop, inside parenthesis, we have to pass the parameter. So our parameter would be row. Let me just cut it from here. I want to actually paste it here inside the parameter. Every single time, it will fetch a single row value and it will show in the row. And then I will actually echo the row value. Okay. If I have 3 column in a row like this, ID, name and email, and it will show here. Okay. And now if I refresh, let's go back here. I will say here localhost /test PHP, and this is the file I want to click. And here you can see ID is 1 and ID is 2. So I want to actually show all the name and everything. So I'll say here. So I'll say a name, and I want to paste data row name. Then email I'll say dollar row email. Now let's see what happened here. If I refresh, syntax error. Okay, so what is the problem here? Expecting or line 11. This is the problem actually. We have to give a second bracket. I mean, you have to end curly braces for this starting curly braces. So everything is done now. If I refresh, now you can see ID 1, name Yamin, and email is yamin@gmail.com. So actually I want to add break here. I'll set break. If I refresh, now you can see our ID is now in the second line. So here you can see we have ID, name, and email. Okay, we have ID, name, and email. Okay, so this is how actually you can fetch data from the database. So I hope you understand. So thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.
Welcome back to another video, and in this video I will show you how you can actually insert data into database table. Here you can see I have a form in my insert.php file. So, and inside the form I have 3 input field. One is for the name, another one is for the email, and the last one is for the submit button. So if somebody click on here, then it will redirect to the same page. Here you can see form action is insert.php, I mean same page, and our method is post. So when somebody actually click on submit, it will redirect to the same page with the field value. Okay, so now I have to accept those values, right? So I have set here a condition. If is set submit button, I mean submit button, if clicked, then we will store name and email in our local variable. Here you can see we have create variable, two variable here, name and email. Name for the name field. Here you can see we have name field here, and we have email field. So we will accept, I mean we will store two value in this two variable, and then we just have to connect to the server, right? So I mean our database. So we have mentioned here server, username, password, database name. Then we have create a connection. Okay, now our SQL is insert into the table name student, and we have name and email, right? Inside the table we have name and email. So let me show you. Here you can see we have a test DB here, and our student, we have 3 column. One is for the ID, name, and email. So ID is auto incremented, so we will add, I mean we will insert name and email only, right? ID will be automatically incremented. So here we have just set 2 column name, that is name and email. So this name and email will be as same as the table column name and email. Okay, and then we have to set values. So we have to use values, and then curly braces, I mean our parenthesis, first parenthesis, and then we will use these two variable. Actually we store the field name and field email. So we will pass them using comma and quotation, single quotation. That's it. So this is our SQL, I mean query, and then we actually execute the query by a function, that is MySQL underscore query function. And here we actually pass 2 parameter. One is for the connection, so that it connect to the database, and another one is our SQL, standard query language, and we have stored the value in a variable that is called result. And we set a condition that if result, if we find any result, I mean if our query is executed, then we will redirect to the fetch.php, fetch data. So fetch data is basically for the display the table, right? In our previous video we actually shown it. So it will redirect to the fetch.php. Okay, so that's why actually we use header function here, and we set location fetch data.php. So now let's see the result. So we will go to the browser, and here if I refresh, you can see we have 2 field. One is for the name, right? So we will add Yamin, and we will say here yamin@gmail.com. If we submit, then you can see we have new name here, Yamin. Okay, so this is how actually you can insert data. So I hope you understand. So thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Welcome back to another video, and in this video I will show you how actually you can update any data in your database. Here you can see I have 10 view here. but I want to update this name as Tanvir according to our email, TAN. So it's TEN. So let's update this. So I want to say here a PHP script like this, and inside it I want to update, right? So I need server connection. So for the connection, I will go here and let me just copy from here everything, and I will paste it here. So I have done my connection. So connection is done here, and now I want to do the query. So let's say I want to add dollar, and I will say update query, or say let's say I just want to say here SQL. So I want to update, right? So update query is update, our table name is student, right? Because I want to update student table. Let's say here student table. So I want to update student. So I'll say here update student, and I will say set. Let me just write it in capital letters. So I will say here set, and our first column name. So I want to set the column name here. There is name. So I will say name equal to, I want to change it, right? So I will say here Tanvir, and then the second column is email. So I don't want to change actually email. So I will say here just name, and then I will say where ID, I mean this ID equal to 2, right? So I'll say where ID equal to 2, and we just have to close it. So this is our code. Okay, so we have to use here actually single quote. Now everything is done. Here we have just write our SQL for the update query. Now actually want to execute the query. So I will say here result equal to, I want to execute. So I will say MySQL query, and I want to pass 2 parameter here, and one for the connection, and another one is our SQL, and everything is done. And if the result is, I mean if our query executes successfully, I mean our result is done, then we will redirect to the fetch data.php here, because here we actually we have shown all the data, right? So I will say here header function, and here I will say location is fetch data.php. Now let's see, I want to run this PHP file. So I will go to the test.php project, and here you can see we have a PHP file update.php. If I click on here, then you can see our name is updated, Tanvir, and if I refresh here, you can see Tanvir, and now it is Tanvir. Okay, so everything is done. Now this is how actually you can update. So I hope you understand. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Welcome back to another video, and in this video we will talk about how actually you can delete data from the database table. Here you can see we have a table student, and we want to delete data from here. We will do this using PHP. For this I actually want to create new file here, Control N for the new file and Control S to save the file. So I will say delete.php, and here I have to write PHP syntax first. Inside it I will say, I'll set the connection, right? So let me just copy from here. Okay, everything is done. Now actually I want to set the query. So our query is SQL, I mean standard query language, and the query for the deletion is delete student, I mean our table name, where ID is unique, right? Here you can see our ID is unique. So I will say ID, let's say I want to delete BT from here. So I will say where ID equal to 5. That's it. Now let's execute the query. So I will set a variable that is result for this query execution. So I will say here MySQL query method, and inside the method we will pass 2 parameter, one for the connection and another one is for the query SQL. And here we'll say if our result is executed, we'll say, so I have to put here a $sign. If our result is executed, then we will enter this clause, and we'll say redirect to the fetch.php. So I will say here location fetch data.php. So fetch data basically fetch all the information from the database. So now our everything is done here, right? So let's go to the browser, and we will go to the project first. So localhost/test.php is our project name, and we have a PHP file here, delete.php. So actually I set that I actually want to delete the student. The student ID is 5. So go here and check. Okay, so the student name is Bithi, so we will check if it is deleted or not. So we just have to select this, but there is a problem, syntax error, unexpected token in 12 lines. So let's solve this. Okay, so we have to give here a okay, now everything is done. I hope we just have to refresh it once again, and I want to delete it, right? So delete this fatal error. Okay, so I have made a mistake here. We just have to say here delete from, okay, because I want to delete from the student table and where ID is equal to 5. Now we will go back and refresh. Now actually want to delete the 5th student, so we just have to click here delete.php. Now you can see we have already deleted. If I refresh here, you can see we have delete our 5th student. So we have delete 5th student from the database. So this is how actually you can delete. You just have to write it properly. So I hope you understand. So thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.